Hi friends! So in my last video I had a question who asked how to export the passes in the AOVs from Blender to Nuke. And in this video I'm going to show you how simple it is. It takes a little time, so I'm going to try to make a plugin soon. For this I just need some time to learn some more Python and actually testing things to make sure it works properly, because I don't want to just add a plugin that doesn't work right. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the factory settings. So here, when you go in the compositor, you can see this. So we don't care about this. The timeline, you can put it down a little bit so we see better. And here you're gonna add new. So when you go here, it depends, but most of the time when you use AOVs, it's with cycles. It can be with the EV as well, but honestly, it's not all the AOVs that's gonna work with EV. So here you go in view layer and you can check the passes you need. So depth is basically the each pixel, it tells you the value, which distance it has from the camera. So here you have different passes. Let's say we need diffuse and glossy. We're going to activate the Cryptomattes as well. So I'm going to show you what it does. And then we can delete this. So once you deleted that, you can do Shift A to add something, or right click and add. And then you're gonna type in your keyboard output, okay? And you want file output. With the new update, it's a different design and it's actually better. I'm gonna show you why in a second. You can here choose where it goes in your PC. So choose whatever location you need. Then I can choose the file name. So here, for example, it depends, but when you have many shots, you can name the shot, you can name different things. For now, we're gonna name it beauty. And then we're gonna duplicate it with Shift D, okay? And we're gonna put it right there and we're gonna name it utility, okay? So UTL. Then we click on the first one, the beauty one, and we can go here in node and multi-layer EXR. Multi-layer EXR is the way it's gonna store everything in just one file, okay? But we want actually to split it in two, the beauty and the util. Why? For optimization. Because the beauty, you don't need the accuracy like to be 100%. There's a format, so EXR, that when you compress it in DWAA, it's actually really, really fast and really low. And so you can put it color depth in just 16 bits, so half bit. For all the beauty, it's sufficient. It's really enough. Then for the util, we want to put it in zip because we don't want, if you go there, it's gonna say it's lossless. We don't want to lose any value. We want it to be as accurate as possible, because what it's gonna do is that your depth pass is gonna be grainy, or you're gonna lose information. And for utility pass, because that's all the position, the depth, the Cryptomatte, we want it to be really accurate. So now that we have this, so you put it in zip, you put it in full. For now, we're gonna plug what we need. So the beauty is the image. So we have the diffuse and the glossy. And that's about it. In those passes, what you need as a beauty, it's all right here, light. When you see light, you know it's beauty. It's all beauty pass, okay? Cryptomatte, it's util. Sometimes people separate it from util as well and put it in another one, but honestly, I put it in the same one. So Cryptomattes and data here, it's utility. And if you have light groups, it's gonna be as well, like I said, light, so it's a beauty pass. So now that you have this, we can go ahead and plug this. So the depth, the position, the normal, the UV. And then I move it right there so it's faster. You see, I just have to do this. And the really cool thing about the new way they made it is that when you plug now, it already has the name, right? Okay. And you can just drag and drop it, where before you had to add manually right there, plus, you had to name it. So that was pretty bad. Here, what I do is that I change the image for RGBA. If I work with Nuke, that's the way I do, because Nuke recognizes RGBA by default. So now that we have this, we might want to denoise, and there's different ways to denoise. But usually I uncheck this, okay? And I go with the denoise node right there. And in the view layer, okay, I make sure that I have denoising data activated, okay? So I can go ahead and get this and put my normal and albedo, okay? So right there. Now that we have this, I'm gonna do this so it's better. we make sure that it's high and that it's accurate and HDR checked. Now, Control H to hide what's not used, and you can collapse the node. Now, you want to do Control Shift D, so it keeps the links, or you can remove it. Then you do the same, you do Shift R, so it does the same. And then you put Diffuse Direct, Diffuse Indirect. Diffuse color, we don't need to denoise it because it's just the color information. It doesn't take into account the light, so there's not going to be noise. Then Glossy Direct, Glossy Indirect, and that's about it. If you have transmission direct, transmission indirect, volume indirect, you can do it as well. Transmission color is useless because it's color. It's just the color information. And then if you have emission, it depends, but most of the time I don't do it as it's almost like just a color information. Environment, most of the time it's not useful. It's the HDR you use or the sky texture. Ambient occlusion, it uses the light, so it needs denoising if you want. And shadow catcher as well. And the light passes, it's like your image or RGBA, it's just, you can denoise it as well. So then I plug this in the right thing, and now I make it just a little cleaner, just to be able to see what we're doing and not have a lot of connections kind of going weirdly. So to do the knots like this, I do Shift right click, and there you go. So now that we have this and it's pretty clean, we can go ahead and render frame. One thing important as well is that for now Blender hasn't fixed that, but the output here always outputs it as well. And you're gonna have like your output here, and you're gonna have your output there. But this, you don't care because it's just a normal render. And if you use the AOVs, you don't need this. So what you can do, you can put it in image, you can put it in OpenEXR, and as I said, half and DWAA, because it's less storage and it's more efficient, okay? It's more efficient to export, to render. You can put it this, you check overwrite, and you can create on your desktop a folder, for example, I don't know where, but in downloads, documents, or wherever, you can create a folder that you're gonna call frames bin or whatever you want to call it, and you can always refer every project you have, every Blender file you have, to this folder. So this folder, you know, you can delete it anytime you want. It's just a bin, and if you keep it there, it's gonna overwrite, so it's not always more storage and more storage. It's gonna cap at a certain point, and it's just gonna overwrite. So it's gonna clean by itself when you do new renders, for example. So now I can render, so render animation or Control F12. So you're gonna see that when you render, it takes a longer time because it's compositing, okay? So it's outputting the different AOVs and it's denoising for this. So here we can see view layer, and combined I can see the different things. So depth, you're like, okay, we don't see anything. You can see it a little bit. You have the position pass, the normal pass, the UV pass, and you have all the other passes right there. That's pretty much about it for this video. It's really not in depth. So if it helped you so far, you can like the video, you can subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments what you want next. If you want me to go more in depth in Nuke, or if you want me to go more in depth in Blender. If you like this video, you can share it. That always helps. And thank you. See you next.